Z, I want to cover one more topic before you go. Obviously, you've done an amazing job as best you could to try to garner some type of a left populist movement through electoral politics, through brand new Congress. And we all know how a lot of that kind of fell apart.
Do we?
As much as we all know without violating non-disclosure agreements, yes.
Correct.
I never signed one of those.
Good for you.
There is going to be an immense amount of pressure to funnel people back to the Democratic Party, which we will see over the next year plus, because they're going to run with the Republicans cut Medicaid and gave tax breaks to the wealthy, which of course they did. But it also shows that this is just an endless cycle of just putrid behavior on both sides at all times. There is a solution to the austerity politics of the GOP, which of course is single-payer healthcare, which would eliminate this whole need for multiple levels of healthcare. You just need one, and that could solve all of it. We all know why the Democrats won't do it. Now, there is going to be a huge push for support for AOC. It's obvious why she and Bernie have been on this tour, although it's gotten kind of quiet. I don't know how long they think they're going to be able to keep up this charade if clips like this continue to circulate.
So as you guys know, or may not know, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez does not let anyone inside her office, even if you're a constituent. So I brought her something, a reminder, and we're just gonna slide it under the door to let them know that we came.
We've been watching for 19 months at this point. Children have their bodies mutilated on live stream, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is too weak and too scared to even speak up for the children in Palestine.
Could you imagine having all of those Post-it notes outside your office and never doing anything about it? Just letting them stockpile like that?
I live with a hoarder who uses Post-it notes, so I got to tell you, that's looking awfully familiar to me. It looks like the downstairs bedroom in my freaking house, but I understand the principle.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has shown us with her votes, her silence, and her actions that she's a Zionist. And
let's go back real quick. AOC voted yes on HR 888, reaffirming Israel's right to exist. Yes on HR 5917, sanctioning Palestinian resistance 2024. Yes on HR 966, debunked fake rape. You know, they're still peddling that crap. They're still doing it. They're still saying that that's true. Yes on HR 6679, anti-Palestinian immigration bill. Imagine that. Present on HR 5323, Iron Dome funding 2021.
If you guys go back to that date, there's an episode accordingly. I cannot tolerate voting present. Continue.
Yes on HR 1449, equates criticism of Israel, of Israeli state, with anti-Semitism. Very similar to HR 867, which will get another vote guaranteed.
That she's a Zionist.
And she is working tirelessly to secure a ceasefire in Gaza.
Bullshit.
This has to be extra hard for you in some respects, Zaina. Like, I mean, you really put in the work in the first place that facilitated this project and got her to where she is and really went into it with the best intentions, really wanting to create a brand new Congress and really thinking that let's just get new people in there. And then this is what that turned into.
Well, we had a pro-Palestine, pro-BDS platform that she signed on to. And you know this, we would not endorse any kind of candidate, at least when I was there. That changed after I was removed, in part because I refused to support John Fetterman. But we would not support anyone who took money from AIPAC or the Israel lobbies, along with many other lobbies. But that was one of the lobbies that we were like, no, hell no. And they approached our candidates and harassed our candidates like crazy. You know that for sure.
No, they never approached me.
Oh, really?
I feel sad. Like, you know, it's kind of like I was never invited. I was never approached by AIPAC. I was never approached by any Zionist lobby organization, not once, either time I ran. Do you think they just looked me up and said, forget it, it's a lost cause?
They knew there was no point, which
But
says that's great. That's a great attribute to your character.
I did have a meeting. I do remember the first time I ran, having a meeting with J Street, like an interview, an endorsement interview. And this was, at this point, I was still sort of two-state solution. Could it work? Like, I wasn't anywhere where I am now, but it still wasn't where J Street wanted me to be. And so they were like, yeah, no, thank you. And I'm like, yeah, bye-bye. And that was it. And I am a member of Jewish Voice for Peace, which J Street didn't appreciate. So,
well, back then, if you guys remember, and Peter knows, because in 2019, I was having long conversations with Peter about how I thought AOC was going to sell out. Peter, we stayed up and I was drinking beers all sad and talking to Peter on the phone, depressed as hell back in 2019. Like, what am I going to do? I'm having an existential crisis. She's the most famous one and she's already selling out.
You can't organize an event like Brand New Congress. You can't have Jen. You can't have Cori Bush. You can't have Jamal Bowman. You can't have all of these guys show up in DC. And she can't take 5 minutes to come over and give just a quick pep talk and wish everybody well and give some pointers about what it means to be a grassroots candidate. She was too busy to do that. And we know that I don't even think they were in session at the time. So the idea that she couldn't have made the time, talk about even then in her first term, forgetting the people that got her there. And the worst part about it is it doesn't matter that Alex is a scumbag. What matters is that it deters people from even getting involved, much less running for office. You turn everybody off. They just say, well, if Alex is going to sell out, then who the hell isn't going to sell out?
That's the point.
Right.
That's the point. Zeynab, isn't that what we were saying? This is what proves the experiment doesn't work. I mean, that and various other things, but like, that's the case in point. Exactly.
And we thought that if the money aspect wasn't there, and I think it's partially people struggling, regular working people, we frame things a lot in people are doing this to get rich because we don't have anything. And it's not that we would do things to get rich. We would be people that a lot of times would be more likely to pay our workers fairly and to treat people well and that sort of thing. But one of the things that scratch a liberal, true, Lila. One of the things that I learned, one of the biggest lessons that I learned is it's not just the money. It's not just not taking the corporate PAC money. It's power. These billionaires, like I was thinking about this yesterday, these billionaires like we're covering on our show, the Broligarchy that I'm working with Punch Up Pod on, they don't just want to get rich. They've already got all that. If that's what they wanted, they'd be out on a boat, on a yacht somewhere in the middle of the ocean.
Oh, they want to play God.
They want to play God. It's about power. And for somebody like AOC, it's about power. She was bragging. This pissed me off. 3 weeks ago, her campaign spokesperson posted, and Jen, you may have seen this too, and it would probably piss you off as well. She raised $9 million the last quarter because of this like thing that they're doing. Why the fuck does she need $9 million? And why are they for a quarter? Yeah, and why are they bragging about it? And why did they come out and say we paid our $250,000 dues that the Dem Party expects for us so that we can prove that we're playing ball with the Democratic establishment? What are you doing? Why are people giving her $9 million? This is a person who's already in office. Election's a year away. Why don't you give that money to the people in London, Kentucky down here who had a category in my hometown that had a Category 4 tornado rip through and kill 19 people right here in my backyard? Why don't you give money to Palestine? Why aren't you giving money to the teachers union? Why aren't you? Oh, what, Peter?
Let's not talk about those things. That's not important.
Well, we can also talk about what she does end up doing with the money, because she also then ends up donating it to other candidates, and she will donate it to complete liberal Dem shills, even when, especially when they're being challenged by somebody who is an actual leftist. And when that happens, and the only time she had the balls to stick up for anybody to help a progressive in there was only when Jessica Cisneros challenged Henry Cuellar, and it was only because he's anti-choice. Otherwise, they will not challenge a Democratic incumbent, and she's a coward.
When you bring up things like real life issues, like economic, environmental destruction of where people live because of a tornado, that shouldn't even have to be addressed. We should live in a country where FEMA will take care of that, no questions asked. But that's not the world that we live in. We have two problems. We have the government bureaucratic corruption of organizations like FEMA, and then you have the austerity component of treating FEMA like it's not that important. And that if people in economic plighted areas of the country especially get hit, fuck them. Not our problem. That's it. So she's as bad as anybody because she knows what's going on. She pretends that she's, was born yesterday on a lot of things, but she's not. She's extremely cold and calculating. You can see right through her sweet, sweet face. It's all bullshit. All of it. Everything is about a political opportunism now. And she is going to run. She's going to have a lot of money. She's going to be popular. And we can only hope that our platform, along with many others, will have some effect on at least breaking through with people saying, you know how you thought you were thinking about donating, door knocking, phone banking for Alex? You probably
It's a waste
shouldn't.
of time. It's a waste of time. And I will tell people something, I hear all the time, well, she's only one member of Congress. What can she do policy wise? You're right. It's only one vote. But in our culture, in the United States, real power is clout. Being able to reach people, the platform she has. So do not tell me that if AOC came out and called this a genocide when she should have called it a genocide, if she stood up against the Israel lobby instead of being a freaking coward, because people like me, Jen, Peter, the people that are on the ground, that are journalists, that are covering this every day in Gaza with a target on their back, getting targeted and blown up. And you're going to tell me that AOC needs to be careful so that she keeps her political position. Oh, fuck that. No.
No, she's officially the enemy. The truth is Bernie is officially the enemy. These are people that are now purposefully, consciously working against progress.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of liberals saying, that, Kamala couldn't make those political risks or so-and-so couldn't make those political risks. Take your political risks and shove it. Like, give me a break. Why are you putting these people up on a pedestal, the most powerful people in the country, and then whining, political risk, when you have people like Mahmoud Khalil and Romesa Ozturk, or the guy that was at, where was it, UNC the other day, who had was it UNC that had his diploma snatched from him, a valedictorian after graduation, because he dared to speak up in his speech.
You're talking about Logan. We covered him. His little badass self.
I know. And if those people can have courage, if the people that are coming in the streets to defend their neighbors against ICE can have courage, then somebody like AOC damn well could speak up. It's so ridiculous to make that excuse for our politicians.
They're cowards.
Mm-hmm.
We'll finish it up.
And bringing hostages home.
May that image be seared in her brain every time she has to walk past her office.
I know it's sucking. But you know what sucks, though, for the rest of us that aren't that shit is now seared in my brain forever. See, this is the moral injury. This is the problem. I am so angry. That is one of the biggest causes of rage. I mean, my rage exists on many levels. I'm angry that I'm angry. I'm angry that I feel this way. I'm angry that I'm seeing what I'm seeing. I will never not be angry about this. There is not enough therapy and cannabis in the world that is going to ever make me not feel so enraged about this. It's probably taken years off my life. And I'm just here. I'm suffering from what, and that was something that Logan wrote. His name is Logan Rozos. And what he said in his speech is that it's a moral injury. We are suffering a moral injury. And I thought that was just brilliant because that is how I feel. And while it pales in comparison to actual injury, the repercussions and the ramifications of the moral injury will never go away. We will be, the karma that is set in motion from this will be affecting all of us for the rest of our lives. And it'll come up in so many things politically, but I don't even mean that. So I'm just saying karmically, we are so screwed for so long. That's what I think.